Hey, seventh grade art students. This is Miss Lisa, and we're going to do our second project in the first quarter, and it's going to be based on what we call linear perspective. And in the Word doc, in the notes that I gave you, linear perspective is just one way of seeing things, just one way. And we're going to do a 1-point linear perspective assignment. And we're going to start with the vanishing point. These squares right here will be your initials, and I'll break that down for you. So my name is Lisa Meredith Hendrickson. So it's L for Lisa, M for Meredith, H for Hendrickson. And then I'm going to show you how to take the corners of your letters back to the vanishing point. So we have the illusion that we're looking at this from an aerial perspective. So it's big here, and as it gets into the distance, back to that vanishing point, it becomes smaller and smaller. So it almost looks like these are buildings from a top perspective looking down, okay? So this, again, is going to be a black and white project. I promise you our next two projects in this quarter are full on color, but this is another black and white assignment, and we want the emphasis to be on line and shape, line and shape. And just real quickly, these should be there for you in your Word doc. When we speak of geometric shapes, we're typically talking about shapes that have really defined space and edges, and also they usually have names. When we talk about organic shapes, we're speaking of shapes that exist in nature, although geometric ones do too, but these are typically shapes that are a little more free form, and most oftentimes they do not have names. I mean, you might say a cloud-like shape or a leaf shape, but not like circle, square, hexagon, da, da, da. All right, so, and then of course we're going to be exploring line in this project, which is one of the fundamental elements in art that you have to do drawing or painting or sculpture, even architecture. All right, so here we go. What you'll need is paper. I tend to work big, I write big, I do a lot of things big, so I'm going with a bigger paper. And then a ruler if you have one. If you do not have one, then use something with a straight edge. A straight edge, so maybe a thicker piece of paper with a straight edge would work. And a pencil. And then in the end, if you have it at home, do not go to the store. If you have it at home, then please use a felt tip marker or a Sharpie or a magic marker to have black outlines to show a really strong contrast between your negative space and your positive space. All right, that's all you need. So here we go. So first, I've got my white sheet of paper. I think it's more interesting if we orient it landscape or horizontal, because I think you're gonna find that you'll be able to achieve more depth if you do it that way, okay? Now, I am gonna start with Sharpie, but I'd like for y'all to start with pencil. I'm gonna put my vanishing point in the middle-ish of my paper. Y'all can measure this if you want, but I'm not going to. That's my vanishing point. That's where all my lines are going to come back to, right in the middle there. Can y'all see it? Yes. Okay, now the second thing I'm going to do is I have 3 initials, right? Lisa Meredith Hendrickson. So I need 3 boxes to accommodate those initials. And I'm just going to start in a box first, okay? Now here, if you've got a ruler, it would benefit you to use it. If you don't, it's okay. So I'm going to make these approximately 4 inches because I've got a larger paper. This will be for my L. This will be for my M, and then I would do this one for my H. Do these boxes have to be the same size? No, they don't. Maybe you want to emphasize one letter more than another. That would be fine. Y'all with me? Okay, these are for my 3 letters or the tops of my building, okay? Now I'm gonna do an L. Now for me, I'm gonna do this assignment in block letters. I'm gonna have everything be really straight edge, really geometrical. And so I'm gonna come over here for the back of my L. Remember, y'all can do this in pencil first. I'm just doing this in Sharpie so y'all can see me. So here we go. Okay, then I'm gonna do my line across. Okay, now I have some choices, especially if I'm doing this in pencil first. I could erase this block and not have it be so square, just have the L, or I could keep the block. Okay, that's gonna be up to you. Since I did this in Sharpie, I'll be keeping the block. And I wanna show you how to take the corners back to the vanishing point to give it a more 3D quality, okay? So here we go. I'm taking this corner back, going to the top, taking this corner back, and this corner back. Okay, and then, you know, create some interest here with some kind of shape or pattern. Since I've got my ruler, I'm gonna use it. Okay, and then you can choose to fill these in with positive space, making them dark. You can do other vertical or horizontal lines or some kind of pattern. It's really up to you. You know, work within those confines of your first initial. Now, in an effort to make these look like windows, this is what I did. So I have to have my tripod lines right there to give me my foundation. And then after that, I still need to use a straight edge, whether it's a ruler or a straight thick piece of paper, some kind of straight edge. I'm still gonna go back to my vanishing point. So I'm gonna come here. Okay, yeah, I think that's enough. And then to make my windows, I'm gonna drop my ruler or my straight edge, line it up with the bottom of my building, the bottom of my initial, and drop it. Go straight across, come down, drop it. Okay, so everything is either gonna go vertical, horizontal, or diagonal back to the vanishing point. Now you're gonna say, hey, well, that's not gonna make sense if I keep going straight. That's correct, you don't wanna do that. What you do wanna do is meet the corner, meet the end of that line, and do vertical. You see that? Look in 3D, right? Then take your ruler, scoot it to the end of the next line, and the next, and the next. Okay, and that's going to be your basic outline. And do your 2 to 3 initials, however many that you have, and kindly work horizontally. Last thing, I cannot emphasize this enough, y'all. As you know that Ms. Bree and I teach the whole school. Therefore, for each of your projects, I need the project name. So this would be initials in perspective. Then I need your first name and your last name. So you could put it on a sticky or a piece of paper somewhere in the corner if you don't want it to interrupt your negative space or your composition, okay? And I can't wait to see what y'all come up with. All right, thanks for being here and watching this, and we'll come back in another 2 weeks, and the next 2 projects have color. All right. Bye, 7th grade.